Yes, back at it again. African morning. Yes, I am Masiwa. We are here with another hot topic. Knowledge to wake to give you awakening, to let you know who you are in this time. African morning. Yeah, let me turn on this music a little bit. Yes, man, back at it. African morning. I am Masiwa. Here again. You see, when they colonize our mind, they colonize our mind and we start to see good replacing bad, or bad replacing good, evil become righteousness, man become woman and woman become man. All kind of malfunctioning, operating things going on in our biological body by the things that we eat and the knowledge that we read. We become what we read and we become what we eat. So you have to be careful of what we consume in our biological body. The person that is feeding us, that is manufacturing our food and feeding us, they have the opportunity to poison us. The person that responds for our literatures have the opportunity to poison our mind and let us be handicapped within our own mind. A lot of people walking around, you see a lot of people walking around looking conscious. They are handicaps because their mind is not on the right frequency. So you have to make sure you are reading the right thing, you are eating the right thing. But we're going to read, today is not much of a talking day. We're going to read some things and I want you to listen. Do you ready, my sister, to read? Yeah, we gotta read some things today. We gotta listen to some things out of the new beginning. We're gonna read from the new beginning, the 2013 of Africa, the new beginning. Read on, sis.
Leaders who are listening to devils must be moved. We are not monkeys to do as we are told. We must always retain that consciousness of ourselves to make conscious decisions at all times. If a leader is not operating as should, especially if they're under the influence of evil, don't pray to strengthen them so they can continue brutalizing you. Pray that God removes them from leadership. Just as when King Saul was abusing God's people, the people were crying out to God for a change because they realized that the interest of the king was not the interest of the people. So they prayed to God to remove him, and God raised up a boy to be king over the people with the eligibility of maturity.
Salute.
But what I realize in people in this age, they pray to strengthen a leader, even when they recognize that they're doing other things to initiate the compromisation of the people's lives. We still pray for them instead of not praying that God removes them. Once a person changed from honoring the requirement of their duties because of too much power and the initiative of ignorance, the body which is last initiative must recognize that the head has compromised and opened up too much plagues of poisoning the body. The head is the first initiative of poison, and the body will absorb as much. But rebels, when there's excessive amount of poison that will damage or kill the body always sending signals of limitation before breaking down. But the head can be very stubborn and ignorant. The signals to the signals unless it's too late when the capacity of the body is to the limit. Then the head have no control over the explosion of the body fighting itself with the destructive implementation which the head initiates. We must understand that the head which we must understand that the head, which are our leaders, are the initiative of creating chaotic people who are the body of people who they are leading over. The body cannot be poisoned if the head didn't open their mouths to the consumption of what goes in the stomach of the body. Whatever the head do will be the outcome of the body. I will pray to remove any head who are mistreating or abusing the people, because God hears the cries and supplication of the people before initiating a person to lead over God's people. And without the people, there would be no leaders. The people is the kingdom of God. The earth is the fullness thereof, but without the people, God would never have a kingdom. We're the living, intelligent beings of God's kingdom. Don't abuse the people. The leaders are here to serve, not to be served. But power, poison, and fame, power, position, and fame with the initiative of money blinds the importance of the requirements of these leaders, that they forget the status of their quality of what it is to lead. Leaders, be careful of what you're eating, because the people are defecating and making gruntful sounds at the initiative of what is consumed.
Yes, man, that's knowledge. That is from the new beginning. So, right now, you hear some of these things that you never hear before, man. These things are newly on the earth. This is the new beginning, 2013, the new beginning of Africa. So you just hear the knowledge about leaders and what it take, what is the requirement to lead over a body of people. These leaders, they want to be served. They come to serve, but because of money and power, position, and fame, they want the people, the body of the people, to serve them. They want to live luxurious from the people without educating the people. What is killing the people? Who is initiating the death of the people? Who is poisoning the people? The head is taking in too much poison and the body is crying out, because the body always give the signal that what is too much. If you drink too much water, you can drown. Just by you initiating that too much water, you taking too much water, you can drown. Too much food will make you get restless. So it's knowledge. You have to listen to don't listen to these leaders. These leaders they don't know what they're talking about. They just get up and talk because they see other are doing the same thing. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of madness, and it's a cycle of psychological madness. They are passing down from one generation to the another generation without having the knowledge of deciphering, if they are reading the truth, to expound it back to the people. So they themselves are the head that is taking in too much poison, and the body is crying out. Yeah. Sis, find the next one, because today is not a day of talking. I'm just gonna give some knowledge from the new beginning. Let you understand that you must try to get this book. Try to get this book, or if you want to be a part of this book, of the production, you can reach out to me to initiate a donation to let this book come out in the right perspective of which the capacity see it fit. So read the next one, sis. Continue with the knowledge. This is knowledge.
Psychology code is broken. We cannot look at the Ten Commandments if you're not seeing the brutality of the savagers that mistreated our ancestors. Do we believe if our ancestors was the ones telling the story about what happened to them, would there be an history or any Ten Commandments to be loyal to? Because the stories would be told in a different way with clarification of what really happened. If we visit the holding house which our ancestors were captured and hold before ships embarked to travail the sea to different parts of the earth, which they become totally strangers without family, families, and friends. But before we talk about the sea, let's talk about the journey from the villages to the holding house. They expounded it correctly when they said the devil come to kill, steal, and destroy. Because these scavengers of Rome and individuals of Europe destroyed and take everything that they can find, then take our ancestors as prisoners of war. The implementers of the Bible are the same savages. That's why they can fix the Bible in a pleasing way with directives for the slaves to follow and be loyal in a psychological way. I can still hear the crying voice of ancestors. Children were devastated, and their fathers and sons were put in the courtyard to be beaten and strive that they will be weakened captain and crew members, selected women or men that they want to sexually abuse. They put the woman in the courtyard for the captain to choose which one they want to sleep with. Most refused, and most of them died. And from the holding house to when they disembarked the ships, they were being sexually abused. But they forget to write that side in the Bible because our ancestors didn't get the privilege to add their side of the story. If our ancestors did get the opportunity to expound themselves in the Bible, it would be 10 Bibles because one book couldn't hold the destructive behavior of all the scavengers that invaded the continent of Africa. So help me break it down, the 10 Commandments. But before we do, I want you to remember it is a psychological directive that was put there by the scavengers because they realized that if our ancestors should wake up from under the imprisonment of their wickedness with the chains coming from around their physical bodies, it would spark a revolution. Praise God. So they make sure our ancestors was mentally indoctrinated with a curriculum that they would be so loyal, that our ancestors would picture them as masters or gods from the teaching of Jesus Christ and an image which they painted on an almanac. So the 10 Commandments are the things they were preventing from happening to them. After they themselves do all these things to our ancestors, reverse psychology with the fear of God, that these things wouldn't happen because we're devoted to the Most High God, and they use what we love to brainwash us in an idiotic manner. From the 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10 of the 10 Commandments is what they're doing to us on a daily basis, especially in this age with the implementation of witchcraft, but keeping us loyal with the divinity of the fear of God, and be at rest that they're sure we are not going to violate the laws of the book. But it is my privilege to hear from the ancestors so I can expound their side of the story. Even if the loyal servants are too loyal to believe their own ancestors, but the truth must be told. I am Masowa. In our consciousness, the world has come to an end a very few times. Once in the age of Moses, then Yahshua, then Bob Marley, and here it is again in this age of Masowa. God always makes sure there's a prophet to keep his people. Don't discriminate, but appreciate the knowledge of God.
Don't discriminate, but appreciate. Because God always makes sure there's a prophet to keep his people through any storm. Going through the storm, God gonna give us comfort God always have a prophet to keep and have the balance of the people mind, the stabilization. So even in Moses' time, of fear, destructive behavior, and brutality of the people, God raised up Moses to lead the people. In Jesus' time, same thing. Coming up until this age. So God always have a person to give that knowledge that the people find peace in the midst of the storm. So our ancestors did not get the opportunity to tell their side of the story. It was the savagers, the same savagers, go to Rome and gather together their top scholars to write history book. And we are still helping the white man to write his history book. Black people don't have history, man. Black people have culture. We are cultural people. We are nature. We are nature people. We are people of nature. So we don't have history. We have culture. We have life, levity, life. We speak about life. We don't speak about history. The white man have history because the white man was created upon the earth. The white man wasn't created in the heavens of the kingdom of God. God the Almighty did not create the Caucasian. It was our ancestors who were gods in Egypt with the knowledge of creating mankind. Man and mankind was created upon this earth. So, as I said, not gonna expound too much, but I just collaborate a little. So, read again, sister.
Technology addiction. The psychology of many sicknesses which the public is facing are radar poisoning, which is the first initiative of the virus. But we are ignorant of these systems because they are similar to the flu symptoms. But radar poison carries the same biological feeling as if you're coming down with the flu. The smartphone is informational, and yes, it keeps us informed, but it is also a weapon in our hands. It's the first initiative of smart plagues, demonical, biological, and sending signals of addiction, of training the minds on the same frequency as how the brain operates. Remember, they taught us that our eyes are the windows to our souls. So the pattern of light and pictures and the curiosity of the responsive of your smartphone change the behavior of the mind to think like your phone. And the deeper you go is the more addicted you become. Smart addictions of technology is the worst evolution we could ever imagine. Why we are so committed to our phones that people become distant away from themselves, that there's no more friendly conversations by the connection of people to people, but texting and video calling. Likewise, phone calls becomes the most important, taking away the personal love of people from around each other because it is more comfortable and easy. Many people got infected with the virus by radar information just by operating their phones. Do you think this virus is travailing from people to people? Madness. The virus is not visible to the eye, and the rapid spreading of the virus is not the gathering, but the signaling poison of targeting the public. First they make come addicted by making our phones more smarter and smarter, and the apps are what carry your mind deeper and deeper until you lose yourself in the webs of technology, the devil's playground, that even the elect is elected to do as they're told. The first initiative of poison is the smartphone, and you're already addicted. A trained mind is like loyal dogs that won't bite its masters. Even when the dogs go through the worst abuse, it is still having that love for its master. who is training your mind, who is training your mind, and why you're so obedient to your abusers. Even when there's evidence that your trainers are killing you and your children. I am just addicted like you, but the difference, I go on to gather content, content of the beast, so I can inform the public of what's happening. But my addiction is vain because I don't allow my addiction to control me, because I am of the world but not in the world. I look but not see. I listen but not hear. I read but not recode what I read. I am here but I am not a part of their world. I am he, Masoa. And this is how most religious personality are. They're of the word, but they're not in the word. And they speak vainly things just to benefit themselves and lead the people astray.
So let me say something. You must look but not see, hear but not conform to what you hear. You can read, but don't allow your brain to record what you read, that it go in your subconscious, that you become slave of what you read. Technology, the first initiative of this virus is your smartphone. They are poisonous with radar poison. Your phone is poisoning us. Your phone is what the first initiative of poison. And we don't know, we get so addicted to our smartphone. We get addicted to our phone so much that we love it more than food. We lost within the webs. That means when you're even when you are walking, you're paying attention to your phone, you're not paying attention to where you're going. So we become robots. We become robots. I'm not saying I am not addicted. I am addicted, but I use the addiction to find out what the beast is doing, so I can come back and inform you with the knowledge of how they are remoting us. So we have to be careful what we are doing. Our smartphone. Persons leave their phone at their house, and when they realize when they're at work and they find out that they leave their phone, they come up under fever. They cannot function for the day. That means what? Your brain and your phone tied together as twin. The personality of you now become the web. So you have to be careful. But how do we come how do we get the antidote to free ourselves from the smart devices? You cannot. Once you become addicted, you are going deeper and deeper and deeper. The only way to free ourselves or to decode ourselves, you have to get rid of the smartphone. You have to put down the phone. And nobody is not gonna do that, because the smartphone it's so easy to send message, video call. You can video call somebody in Africa and in Jamaica and conversate. Those are the things that is entertaining the mind. And we are curious people, and we like these things. So the things that you like is what is taking you deeper and deeper and deeper till you forget even your own self. So thank you for listening, and that's a little knowledge of the new beginning, 2013, the new beginning of Africa. I am E. Masio, and the voice that you hear was reading is Malozo, Prophetess Malozo. Peace, salute.